Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the Solux Life podcast. I'm super excited about today's guest. We have Chauncey Perkins, CEO, founder of Perks by Perk Real Estate, based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Chauncey.
Hey, Crispin. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming on. I'm super excited. We're going to give some people some time to log on, and then,
Okay.
we'll get started.
Welcome to the Solux Life podcast, where our goal is to enhance the mental, physical, and spiritual luxuries in life. Make your life luxurious through knowledge, coaching, training, and technique. Visit us online at SoluxLife.com. Here's your host, Crispin J. Watson.
All right, so here we are. So first thing first, I want you to introduce yourself. Just tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and how you ended up where you are today.
So, yes, I'm Chauncey Perkins, brokerage owner of Perks by Perks Real Estate based out of Atlanta, Georgia. A little bit about me. I'm a veteran, ex-athlete, ex-music industry professional, and I've been in the real estate industry for 6.5 years now. How I got here
Oh,
is um, just ethically and working with servicing clients.
nice. So of course, you're gonna have to tell me about this whole. First of all, how was it being in the army? We'll start there.
Okay, let's see. I was in the Army from 2000 to 2006. It was a great experience just based off of the discipline that it instilled in me and everything, learning structure from someone outside of my family unit. So it was a great experience, but at the same time, I realized that that lifestyle wasn't for me. I have friends and relatives who wound up going and doing 20 years, but for me, it really wasn't my type of lifestyle. So
Yeah.
beneficial
So
nonetheless.
tell me about your how you dabbled in the music industry. I love music, so I'm really interested in hearing about that.
Okay, so like a lot of viewers or a lot of people know, the military provides awesome educational benefits. So my plan, once I got out of the military, was to go into the music business. So I did procure my bachelor's degree in audio engineering from a wildly world-renowned school called Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida, to where I was already producing, but I learned the technical engineering aspect of the music business. And then after that, it brought me, instead of LA, New York, or Miami, it brought me to Atlanta, where I got to, without dropping names, get to pretty much record who's who of the industry at that time, which was pretty much 2007, 2008.
So why did you stop?
Well, I I enjoyed it. It was an experience. You get to see how major records are cut behind the veil, as well as how the process goes. But I got an opportunity to go work overseas, and my plan was to go work overseas for a year, come back, kind of open up my own studio. But then once I started that journey, the money was so good and I got to travel the world to where I just was like, okay, I'm going to ride this out for a little bit longer, to where fast forward 8 years and I was not that person anymore. I still have a major love and compassion for music, but as far as being on you know, the creative side, that was no longer me. So,
So what's you now is real estate, right?
yes.
Yeah. So how do you like it? Kind of tell me what made you get into real estate? Because I know a lot of people watching may be interested, or if they're listening to it, they may be interested in becoming a realtor, eventually becoming a broker one day. So what made you actually tap into real estate?
Well, for me, it was no nonsense for being a capitalist and understanding how the economy works and understanding how to create wealth. So that was pretty much the no-brainer idea for me. Hey, everybody wants to start out as an investor, a developer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of times those people, they still need support. So for me, the idea was to reverse engineer, have the end goal in mind, but reverse engineer it if you're an investor or you're a developer, you still need to know how to bird dog, how to wholesale, how to run comps, how to service people, different types of homes, what type of stage a home is in. So my idea was, okay, since I'm probably going to need this personnel, let me start there. I have the time. I'm a lifelong learner. Let me start there and then just kind of reverse engineer my end goal.
Right. So how long did it take you to open your own brokerage?
Well, I went about it a different way. In the state of Georgia, you can sit for your broker's license in 3 years. For me, I waited 5 years because my plan was to really master the residential sales aspect. And then after that, I went into the luxury division. So instead of immediately jumping 3 year mark and taking my broker's exam, at 3 years, if I recall right, I went into selling luxury homes. And then after that, I said, okay, let me venture into opening a brokerage. And it's a crazy story because this was not my intentions. As we go on, I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people that I work with, they're interested in actually getting into the luxury market. So, what did you do to actually get into that luxury market?
For me, I just aligned and ventured where that those type of buyers and sellers where they enjoy, country clubs, things like that, networking on a higher level to where you're aligning and you're rubbing shoulders with people, and then just not being afraid to kind of put myself out there as far as what I do. What I realize and see with a lot of agents that want to get into luxury, they want to get into luxury because of the luxury commission return, but they don't want
Mm,
to elevate or, pay it forward, sit in these rooms where they may feel a little bit uncomfortable meeting these type of people. So for me, it was just really putting myself out there and saying, hey, I'll go for the uncomfortability, but I know what the end goal is once again.
right, because I think a lot of people get into real estate and think you're just gonna, just magically get clients and just show houses and boom, make a commission, not knowing that you really have to network with people. You have to be a people's person. So if you don't like people, this really isn't the industry for you. So, kind of tell me, like, what's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have when it comes to owning a brokerage or getting into real estate?
Well, the biggest misconception on the agent side, I would say, is that they take their state exam, get licensed, excuse me, and then they're going to be bombarded with referrals, whether it's family, friends, whatever. They think since they're licensed, people are just going to throw business at them instead of actually, one, learning the industry. And I don't mean learning what they teach in the class or on your exam, but learning how to deal with people, how to come from a place from contribution. I was doing a podcast last week, and I was really telling the host, if you come from a place of contribution on the front end, you'll see success over and over. The ROI on that it will just be so plentiful. But a lot of agents, they don't see that immediately. It's into, I will say, maybe 18 months, year two, to where it clicks. And if they've been coached correctly or if they have good support, they'll say, well, you've been saying that the whole time. So that's one of the biggest things I'm seeing on the agent side. On the brokerage side, because I do work and communicate and coach a lot of brokers, is the biggest misconception is not having their system set up. That's
Yeah.
probably the most important thing from a broker and from a brokerage standpoint, because you can be a broker and hold your license at another firm, but if you're going to own the whole kit and caboodle, you want to have all your systems set up. That way, as you welcome agents in, you have protocol set in place. So those two things I'm seeing, they're big misconceptions for agents and brokers.
Yeah, so let's kind of speak on the mindset of success as a realtor. I know you're kind of, dabbling into doing your own thing when it comes to teaching people about mindsets, but what are some of the biggest, I guess, takeaways that you could give us when it comes to developing a mindset for success in real estate?
That's an awesome question. I would say just understand that you will have to be a lifelong learner. Never feel like you've mastered it or you know all the answers, because there's so much to learn in any entrepreneur industry, but especially in this one. Laws
Mhm.
change, rates change, the industry changes, the climate of the economy, it changes. It's saying, okay, I thought I knew everything yesterday, but today's a new day. Let me procure more information. That would be it. I say mindset is key in our industry. We can show a house and work on our negotiation tactics, but your mindset is what's going to help you in this roller coaster industry. One day you could have a closing set to close Friday, and then Wednesday it could say, hey, that's not closing until next week. If your mind
Yes.
is not prepared for that, that may be crippling to you. So you have to be
Yes.
mentally prepared to control your mind as well as those that you serve.
hmm And I think like with that scenario, a lot of people count their money before they actually get it. So they're banking on this money to come in, then their deal falls through, and now they're all flustered and frantic because they were expecting, this particular income and then it didn't happen. So what would you say is another key takeaway?
Mindset, being a lifelong learner, understanding people, understanding people. For agents, I would say understanding objections, and they
Mhm.
teach a lot of big brokerages. They teach knocking down objections. I like to look at it from a different perspective. Go ahead and provide so much value on the front end that there are no objections. I think if a lot of
Right.
agents get in the industry, go ahead and say, hey, this is what we're dealing with. This is all the education I can give you so you can make a better decision. Then they won't have so many objections to knock down.
Yeah, so just you as a person, we'll talk about you. What's your morning routine? Because that's how successful people just really have like a routine. So what's yours? Share the secret.
So yeah, exactly. You're asking for secrets now. So for me, being a veteran and then working as a contractor overseas, I'm used to being on the other side of the world or waking up really early. I've kind of taken that into my career in real estate as well. So I typically rise pretty early, 4:45 this morning. I woke up at 4:45. The alarm goes off at 4:45. I think I woke up on the first ding. I'll wake up, pray before I open my eyes, do some meditation, do some stretching, maybe do some yoga if I'm feeling really good, just kind of where the world is still quiet, maybe say some affirmations, read a little bit, and then by 7 o'clock, I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to make it happen, take care of any fires while it's still early.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you read a little bit. What are some books that you would suggest for us to read to kind of get us going?
Let's see. I would say The Alchemist is a lifetime favorite. I would say, of course, Think and Grow Rich. That's a good one. For someone who's read that one, I would say go further and read the big brother to that, which is called The Law of Success by the same author. That's one that I read yearly. Um, it will really boost your mindset and your success magnetism by 100-fold. I'd also say, let's see, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a good one by Dale Carnegie. Um, there's so many. Reading will catapult any entrepreneur by far. Unfortunately, I don't think enough people and entrepreneurs in particular read. Read as much as you can.
Yes, definitely. So true. It just kind of takes you to another level, honestly, and just makes you self-reflect and just realize some things that you really never even thought about. So just tell us something interesting about you. What's something about you that we would never know?
Something that would never know.
Or we would never guess. Just what's something very interesting about you? What's your
Well,
favorite thing to do?
probably my favorite thing to do would be read or go hiking.
Mm,
Go hiking, golf. I've fallen in love with long distance running, which is also tied to highly successful business people.
hmm
Fallen in love with that. I've been a vegetarian for 17 years, so that's something people would not know.
Wow.
Yeah, so
What made you
come
go
on.
vegetarian?
It was actually a dare challenge. It was supposed to be for 3 weeks, and then after 3 weeks, my body felt
Turned into
regular.
a
I
lifestyle.
It turned into a lifestyle because I started getting more educated on just that type of living, and here I am,
Mhm.
17 years later. So
So you just feel better overall as a person, more healthy.
I do. I feel better overall, not sluggish. I feel like I actually have more energy. I feel cleaner because it is cleaner eating, more
Mhm.
regular and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So, what would you say was your biggest failure to date, and how did you overcome it?
I'd say my biggest failure, and this is what I tell a lot of my agents and other agents in general, don't, when you get licensed and when you decide the brokerage for you, do not depend solely on the brokerage. Don't be a secret agent. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, even though you may not know all of the answers, even though you may not have done a transaction. Also,
Mhm.
don't depend so much on your sphere to bring you your first transaction. Put yourself out there, meet people that you don't know. That was a big one for me that I quickly learned, but if I would have learned it sooner, I would have catapulted to success faster. That's a major disservice that I see a lot of agents, myself included at the time, have done.
Yeah, same here because it's a little awkward to just go up to somebody in the grocery store like, "Hey, you ever thought about buying or selling a house?"
Well,
But I
I
mean,
tend to like to look at it a different perspective. Crispin is I'm not pushy. There's a thing called
mhm.
commission breath. But if you're out and about, if you're having lunch, or you're in the grocery store, like you said, find a way to be wholly interested in the other person and communicate with them. And as you guys communicate, if you're not wearing a pin, find a way to introduce yourself. One of the top questions is, where are you from and what do you do? Those are major icebreakers right there.
Yeah, because if somebody just randomly comes up to me like, "Hey, where are you from?" I'd be like, "Why?"
No, no, that's not going to work. But if you see someone and y'all happen to be on the same aisle and whatnot, hey, how you doing? You look nice without being flirtatious and whatnot, and just you know kindly slide into that type of conversation.
Yeah, so do you suggest always keeping a business card on you or always wearing a name tag so people can kind of know and see what you do?
I would say for newer agents, yes, absolutely keep those two. Especially the name tag is so no pressure when you don't have to speak it, especially if you may be nervous starting out. If you have a name tag, then hey, they can see. You may even get some clients without having to introduce yourself. Any type of marketing that you could do that's low cost, do it. You
Yeah,
know.
it's social media. And I think so many agents sleep on social media. It's completely free, but you can reach millions of people on the internet just by posting. And it doesn't always have to be real estate related. Like I post a lot on TikTok and I've been getting a lot of clients from there lately. I actually did a consultation right before this with the client. I was like, "Hey, how did you find me?" She was like, "Yeah, my mom sent me your TikTok."
Yeah.
And I'm on there doing all kinds of stuff outside of real estate, but I also try to incorporate that as well. So still be you, just still be a
Yeah.
person, but also be about your business as well.
Yeah, be humanistic, but that's the great thing about social media is that they look at us, even if they don't engage immediately, people are watching. We're public
Mhm.
figures. They watch us for the homes that we sell, they watch us for the information and education that we put out, and then they watch to see our lifestyle. This is a real person. This isn't a person that's just speaking real estate or whatever their profession is. They do have a life. They do humanistic things. So, that's a game changer utilizing the internet.
It really is, and it's completely free unless you decide to buy ads and things like that. But I bought ads before, and it just really didn't do what my authentic posts would do. Just me being me and me posting on social media. So
Hmm. Yeah,
one way to gain success in real estate, get active on social media if you aren't already.
correct.
So if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Buy real estate. Yeah, buy real estate because that's 22 years ago. I'm telling my age. I would buy, even if it's an acre, a parcel. You
Hmm.
know, where we're at now, the economy and the news outlets, they're saying, hey, we're headed to a recession, we're headed to a crash. And be that as it may, if it does happen, if you look at the graph of real estate going back 20 years, 30 years, we may have gone through recessions and crashes, but it's like the stock market. It comes out higher afterwards. My
Hmm.
20 or 18-year-old self, it would have been invest in real estate more, get your license sooner, because I mean, this is how wealth and legacy is created.
I agree. If I could go back, I would have got my license like at 18 when I was able to get licensed
Correct.
instead of waiting to the age that I did. But God's timing is perfect. You
Correct.
just
Yeah.
leave that where it is.
Yes.
So what would your friends and close family say about you? How would they describe you?
Oh, my friends, they never waste an opportunity to tell me. They say, Chauncey, you're doing everything that you said you were going to do. You know, everything that you said you was going to see as far as traveling the world and business, down to owning a Harley, and all the materialistic things. They said you've spoke this stuff into existence from years ago. They would say, hey, if he says it, he's going to do it. He's very determined. You know.
Period. You got to speak it into existence. And I don't
Yes.
think people know how important that is actually speaking positivity over their life. And like you said, you might, speak some affirmations and things like that, but there really are like there's power in words. Like it's in the Bible. There's power in the
Yes,
tongue.
power and life and death in the tongue. I
Yes.
think to double down on what you said, I think a lot of people they don't take as serious as that is. You have to speak it, and then
Mhm.
after you speak it over and over again, you have to be ready for it and put in the work and expect it.
Exactly. Faith
All of
without
those
works is
things,
dead. Yes.
you know, all of those. So yes,
Yeah, you can speak it and pray about it all day, but if you don't get out there and do the work, it's just not going to fall in your lap. And I think people have that misconception when it comes to faith and things like that. Like, oh, I prayed about it, so it's gonna happen. Like, God gotta see what
mm,
you're gonna do. Like,
yeah,
God's gonna make sure that you're faithful over the fruits of your labor.
yes.
So you're a father, and I love talking about parenthood and things like that. So just tell us, how many kids do you have? What are their ages?
I have a 20-year-old and a 5-year-old. My 20-year-old I've had since he was 13. Sole custody, raised him. He just wrapped up his first year of college in for psychology. And then I have a 5-year-old who the running joke is my shadow and my twin. So, and on top of running a brokerage, I'm always busy. So,
Hmm.
it's God, family, then real estate.
Yes. So how do you balance it all? Like, how do you balance like work and actually being an active father in your kids' lives?
I would say really great co-parenting system, a great,
Hmm.
great, great co-parenting system, and having grace for others because I know I definitely need it for my career and what I'm attaining to do. If I didn't have a great support system as a man, I don't think I would be where I'm at or going where I'm going. So I'm graceful.
Yes, definitely. You definitely have to have a support system, especially when children are involved.
Correct.
I'm a mom, and I don't know what I would do without my support system. It's hard out here, and people don't realize like it's real when you have kids because the clock never stops. Like you clock at work, but being a parent that's like 24/7, it comes full circle.
Yes.
So tell us, what are some of your goals? What are some of the things you have planned for the next couple of years?
Let's see, grow this
If
brokerage.
if you're willing to tell us.
There's one I'm going to hold. I may share with you offline. Um, but grow this brokerage. We've been open as a brokerage, Perks by Perks, 14 months, going into month 15. And we're at 14 agents, I believe. I've had a couple agent interviews last week and met some people yesterday that I want to interview with or they want to interview with me. And it's been really organic because I haven't recruited anyone. So start this recruitment campaign and grow this brokerage as well as grow it as far as staffing goes. Because again, without the right support, it wouldn't be good. You know, as a brokerage owner and speaking and running with a lot of my peers in this industry, a lot of companies are doing disservices to agents, and that's from
Mhm.
mega brokerages down to small boutiques brokerages. So, you know, the goals for me are to get some speakers in that may not even be in the real estate world, but pour into
Mhm.
them on how to negotiate, how to write, and how to communicate, because I think those three things are important, especially for real estate agents. You know, we get paid for our communication, our writing and negotiating skills, but I'm seeing those services are not provided to major brokerages and especially down to boutique brokerages. So those are some of the things that I plan on doing within the next couple of years, just really building the education platform for this company.
Mhm. Oh, nice. So that's kind of what really sets you apart from other brokerages. You're kind of focused on the education
Correct.
piece of the business.
Yes.
I love it. So, is there anything else that you want to share with us? How can people get in contact with you? He's a very busy man, you guys. He told me I had 30 minutes and that was it. And I had to, cut it off.
Well, I'm servicing one of your clients as well, so you know I'm busy. I can be
Yes.
connected on contacted on Facebook at Chauncey Perkins, on Instagram at Chauncey.Perkins, on Twitter at Chauncey Perkins, Chauncey Perkins at perksrealestate.com, or you can connect with us on perksrealestates.com.
Yes, just Google Chauncey Perkins. I'm sure he'll come up, you guys. But I'll
Yes.
also leave this information in the notes of this podcast. I want to thank you so much for coming on. You have been a blessing and an inspiration. Hopefully, some
Thank you for
people have
having
been
me, Crispin.
motivated. Of course. So, if you guys are looking for a phenomenal realtor broker in the Atlanta area, make sure you guys reach out to Chauncey. He is absolutely the best. Like you said, he's servicing one of my clients, and I only send my people to good people. So
Right.
he's taking care of her, and we're going to get to the closing table. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Crispin. Take care.